Cool.
you know, my fond memories of
Right,
being here.
Yeah, right, exactly, and that great food that we have here. And,
You know, because these are so awesome.
yeah, right. It's so comfortable.
They
you know.
are so cool. I remember why I hate these clothes. I just don't like the color orange. Yeah, orange is not my color whatsoever.
How you doing, lady? Good.
Hey.
Hey there, how you doing?
Pretty good. I'm not really coming back to jail, I swear. I'm Christina Green. My life growing up, it wasn't that easy. I was born into a family of addiction and abuse. I also have 2 older brothers who have been through the same thing. For me and my brother, we didn't know our dad loved us unless he tried to kill us. I say that a lot jokingly, even though I know it's a serious thing. If I'm randomly talking, people are like, yeah, my dad tried to kill us. That's how we knew he loved us. It's kind of a, I don't know, a mask I wear. It kind of sucks. When I was 5, my first memory is being in court testifying against him against sexual abuse. I guess my mom stopped talking to him shortly after that, because I would remember even growing up, like, if he came by, I do remember at one point my mom running with our dog Bubba and a bat in one hand because he was driving by. So she tried to keep him away. She got with my stepdad shortly after that. When I was 11, he got me drunk for my first time. That's when the abuse from my stepdad started. And it was just little things like hitting me or shooting me with BB guns, or I know one of the horrible punishments, he used to burn dimes and make me hold them to the wall. I honestly thought that was a normal kind of childhood. And before this, I was a good kid. I mean, I was a great kid. I was outgoing, I got really good grades. And then I started to withdraw. So I started drinking, you know, I started doing other drugs, smoking weed, doing coke, but I kept getting further and further away from God. I tried things like Wiccan stuff, like to bind my stepdad to try to make all the abuse stop happening. Doesn't work, just so you know. At 14, I had enough, basically. I mean, I don't know what happened this one fight. He just started hitting me and beating me pretty badly, and he was like a 300-pound guy. So he was hitting me. My mom actually came in at the time. She had no idea what was going on, and she started hitting me, and I ducked underneath his arms, and I ran. He actually ended up in prison for 3 counts of rape on me and my little sister. Being on the street, a 14-year-old girl on the streets in Texas, wasn't a very good experience. It was pretty traumatizing. I found places to sleep. It was pretty cold. I mean, it was Texas, so it wasn't that cold, and I just remember it being cold. I finally found my way back here to Minnesota. I lived with my brother Ben, and I was probably, 15? That's when I started doing the crank and the meth. He really couldn't take care of me, so I ended up coming here to Alexandria to live with my brother Jay. My life was out of control. I was so addicted to drugs. I got emancipated at 16, got my own place, had my own job. And from 16 to about 25, I can't tell you about my life because I really don't remember. By the time I was 25, I didn't think there was no reason to live, really. Turns out God had other plans. I got pregnant with my now 17-year-old, my daughter Mariana. Such a blessing. I really had to evaluate my life, learning how to be a parent, what to do as a parent, like how to live sober. But I had spent a whole lifetime using and in addiction, so my addiction came back. Probably when my daughter was about 1, I ended up in jail in South Dakota. I was supposed to be in jail for about a year. I ended up on the floor on my knees, hands and knees that night in my cell. And I was crying and praying and bargaining and promising with God. I promised him, if you could get me to my daughter, if you could please let me live another day, because I had never felt any kind of, anything I wanted to live for. And then there was my daughter. They let me out of jail. We moved back here to Minnesota, here to Alexandria. About a week later, I found Celebrate Recovery, because I didn't want to come back here to my old stomping grounds, as you would say, and, follow on the same path. Love Inc. Was there. They came to Celebrate Recovery, and they came to talk about what they were and who they were. And I literally was blown away. I really was. The volunteers there are amazing. So for about 10 years there, I was involved with Love Inc. I, did the programs. I ended up pregnant again with my second child. And after that, after he was born, I had a relapse. I'm pretty sure it was due to postpartum, not taking my medication. During my relapse, I actually ended up in a relationship. This relationship was full of abuse, very bad abuse, full of drugs. It was not a good relationship. And a year later, we ended up having a kid together. In this relapse, I ended up in jail again. This jail, actually, I ended up there. And I ended up losing my kids to foster care. I went from jail to prison within a whole year. So I guess when I ended up in jail, it still hadn't sunk through, though, that I needed to change. Instead of watching TV or doing whatever, I read the Bible. I did a lot of meditating. And that's when I remembered the promise I had made to God, by that time, 12 years ago. Even when I was here in jail and I was on work release, Love Inc. was there. Actually, when I was here, one of the volunteers from there, Linda, came and visited me every Sunday. Love Inc., actually, if you remember, you guys gave me a bike. I rode my bike every day from jail to Casey's on the other side of town. And you guys also helped me with clothes while I was here. I mean, I didn't fit into any of my clothes, obviously, because, coming from doing meth to being in jail for a year, weight kind of fluctuates a lot. Now I'm healthier rather than looking like a skeleton.
Our hearts are prone to turn hurt into hate. So when you are hurt, if we don't deal with that,
it does.
You can
it
use
turns
nasty
to
things from your
hate.
mouth.
Absolutely. That's where addiction comes into place.
Right? Yeah.
It's trying to cover up that pain.
My biological dad, he actually died before my daughter was born, but I forgave him. And nothing really triggers me with him. Like, I seriously have love and compassion for him, but give me somebody else in my past and I can, yeah. Like my stepdad, yeah.
You have worked through that one forgiveness and
Yes.
others that you haven't been working through.
Yeah. I've learned not only to be a better mom, a better girlfriend, I had to set those boundaries on him because he was still using. And I really had to I went as far as to, which was a big step, I had to call his PO to keep him away from me. More or less, I should say, to keep myself in check, to stay away from him. But by the grace of God, he actually got better. He ended up going to jail himself, and he ended up in treatment, and he's been sober a little over a year, and I've almost got 3 years now. It's like it's a new relationship, actually.
Oh, you get better at that.
You can kind of read.
Can you kind of read now? He knows how to say mad.
The things that we learn through the teachers, through the mentors in those classes are pretty life-changing. And I remember, I'm pretty sure the first class I tried to take was Faith and Finance, because I've done that 3 times. I was trying because I didn't know where any of my money was going. Turns out I wasn't going anywhere good, but this whole year, my rent has been on time, paid in full. By me, actually. I know. I know that's kind of weird to be happy about. Yeah. Even through my relapse. Pretty sure you knew I was in addiction, but nobody ever judged me. Nobody ever yelled at me. They never criticized me. I never felt looked down on, which is probably why I continued to keep trying to come to classes. Even through my worst times, there was always somebody there that was helping me. It's something that, what I consider actual family, what I think a real family should look like. I know you guys have said this before, it's not a handout, it's a hand up.
But now you have someone like you who's been there, done that, time in, time out again. But now you're up here, you know, now they're like, hey, you know, she was in our same shoes, you know.
Yep.
She's not just blowing smoke.
It's nice to see some of the girls that come through here. It's nice to see them on the outside actually succeeding too.
Definitely just give a lot of the women stuff to look forward to, especially to end their week off right, then going into that weekend.
I mean, when you're in that situation and you hear people come in, I never thought I'd be on the other side of it. And it's great to have the support too. Like you were saying, like, if I didn't have the support of all these programs and Love Inc. and all your volunteers, I don't think I'd be here right now. I mean, not in the orange, you know, but yeah. I wouldn't be able to leave. As long as I live by the grace of God, and as long as I continue on with my word, I know I will never have to wear these again. And that is so freeing.